What's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy the D, aka the Six Path Sage, and today we're going to be starting a new discussion series talking about the 5 main hidden villages of the Naruto universe. The Land of Fire with the village hidden in the leaves, the Land of Wind with the village hidden in the sand, the Land of Earth with the village hidden in the rocks, the Land of Lightning with the village hidden in the clouds, and the Land of Water with the village hidden in the mist. Yeah, I'm a longtime Naruto fan, and funny enough, the first manga, yet again, you know I said manga, not manga, the first manga that I really got into was Naruto. That's the first manga I read until I was current. This was when I think I was 14 or 15 when that happened. Time flies. But yes, so wanted to go ahead and show Naruto a little love, even though over the years, especially after the series ended and, you know, some of the themes and how everything was wrapped up, I definitely say I have a bit of a complicated relationship with my love of the series. I can still say I love it, but it's complicated. But yeah, I want to talk about the hidden villages themselves. Because I think as organizations, they are very interesting. Because remember, they do serve as the militaries they serve as the military of their respective nations, so it's really, you know, cool to see, you know, what type of customs, pretty much how the villages are. It's just really interesting. And I should go ahead and note that I will not be talking about the village. I will only be talking about the villages until their end of Naruto versions. So, you know, no Boruto. I really hate Boruto, but that's another video. But anyway, we're going to be talking about the 5 main shinobi villages as organizations and discussing their specific histories, strengths, customs, citizens, etc. Now, as we're discussing, we're going to keep in mind that it's the organization as a whole. So I'm not going to really I'm trying to keep away from talking about any specific characters unless they've had a really big impact on the village itself. Because, you know, once we get to the Leaf Village, we're gonna have to talk about Hashirama Senju, Madara Uchiha, Naruto and Sasuke, even though I hate them, really. Jesus, I really do not like them motherfuckers. But that's not what you're here for. But yes, we're gonna be discussing them as a whole, you know, customs, their strengths, etc., etc. Now, the information I'm gonna be using as my material, it was gathered from a few sources. Leaf Ninja, if you remember Leaf Ninja, especially back when Naruto was popping, you are definitely an OG. The Naruto Wiki, and the databook Kai no Sho. Of course, that's what was referenced from both Leaf Ninja and Naruto Wiki. Especially when it comes to the strengths, because, you know, each village was given a strength rating, you know, their strength, population, and their economy. Yeah, those were three criteria that were rated for each village. But yes, I think that I've rambled on long enough. Now let's get to it. Now I'm going to go over a brief-ish summary of the village's history. Now, of course, we don't have a complete timeline for the Naruto universe, hell, or even the villages themselves. So even though we don't have concrete start and end dates, with a little creativity, we can kind of piece together, using like inductive and deductive reasoning, you know, when things happen, when they kind of coincided. So even though we don't have that definitive timeline, we can at least be able to come up with a semi-comprehensive history. Now, yet again, because I don't have everything, I can't say I'm going to get every single detail in the village's life, but at least from what we were shown in the anime and the manga, we'll know all of that. Anyway, the history of the village hidden in the mist is as such. The village was founded by the first Mizukage, Byakuden, following Konoha's example, because as you know, Konoha was the first village that was founded through the union of their clans. But as far as the reign of the first Mizukage, we really don't know anything about that. Now, we do know that Byakuden, and who I believe was the third Mizukage, attended the 5 Kage summit, and it's there that they purchased their tailed beast from the first Hokage. And even then, when the Sand Village was asking for monetary compensation rather than the tailed beast due to them already having one. It was Byakuten who was actually the one who suggested that the other villages team up and destroy the sand. So it could be kind of thought that he may have been a rule by force type of leader. And I think it was around this time that the first Ninja War happened. Don't know a lot about that either. Yet again, we don't know about Byakuten's reign, except little hints of his personality that we got from him being shown at the meeting of the Kages. Now, the next notable period would be during the reign of the second Mizukage, Gengetsu Hozuki. Now, Gengetsu, he was notorious for a feud that he had with the second Tsuchikage Mu, in which ended in the both of them dying simultaneously. Now, as far as him as a ruler, we never got to see him rule. We never got to see him take over. But from his personality, we can tell that he was probably a very, I'd say, shrewd man. And as a leader, he was probably followed in Byakuten's footsteps. Now, that doesn't mean to say that he probably didn't have his good side and his more caring, compassionate side for his villages. But that's all we know about him, so we really can't make those inferences one way or the other. Now, the next period, we have a little bit more information. Now, it should be noted, we know nothing about the third Mizukage. I don't even think we know his name. So we have no idea what type of ruler he was or anything about him. But the next notable period in the mist would occur under the reign of the fourth Mizukage, Yagura. During this time, it was when the village earned its name, Bloody Mist. This was done through a rite of passage that was issued to academy students. In order to graduate from the academy, they would be forced to kill another student in combat. This tradition persisted for an unknown period of time until finally being ended due to Zabuza Momochi slaughtering an entire class of students without having undergone any training himself. Also, it should be noted that coinciding with this period, I don't know if it started with this period or if it started before. It may have started before, it may have started during. We don't know a definitive answer. But at some point, the people of the village began to openly and violently despise the clans possessing Kekkei due to their usefulness in combat during past internal conflicts. Now, more so than any other, the Mist has been marked by civil war and internal conflict, whether it be with the daimyo or whether it be with the Mizukage, and even now with clans that possessed Kekkei. And one of these internal conflicts, which would go on to be very notable, would be the battle that the now extinct Kaguya clan waged against the village in which they were slaughtered. Any other clans that may have existed in the Land of Water have since gone to hiding to avoid persecution due to their abilities. This can be seen when Haku was young, and when his father discovered that him and his mother carried the ice style, she was killed, and then Haku had to kill them in order to preserve his life. It's unknown how many of the clans still exist, but we know that they are hiding and that, at the time, there was still persecution. Now, whether that has persisted to quote-unquote present-day Naruto or the Hidden Mist Village is unseen, but it can be thought that things might have changed because the fifth Mizukage, Terumi Mei, possesses two Kekkei. So, with that, you could probably surmise that there may have been an internal shift in the perception of people with Kekkei due to the Mist Village being helmed by a woman with two, actually. And also, during her tenure as Mizukage, she has made it clear that she would like to leave behind her home's past of discrimination and maternal violence. And that goes with her attending the present-day Five Kage Summit, with her trying to dispel rumors of the Akatsuki starting in the Hidden Mist Village, and also her berating of Ao in regards to Chodro, saying that the Hidden Mist is no longer the Blood Mist Village, and that she said from her own mouth that she would like for them to move past that and gain a new image. Let me see. In the years following the Fourth Shinobi War, Mei would eventually entrust the position of Mizukage to Chodro, one of the 17 ninja swordsmen of the Mist. And even beyond that, of course, he continued the want and to change the village's image. But like I said, most of that is seen in Boruto, and we're not going into that currently. But yes, so all in all, the Mist Village has had a very tumultuous history of discrimination, violence, internal strife, and just pretty much unrest. And the thing is, that has carried over into the administration of the village in the Mist, because I believe they are the only hidden village with no ninja registration system. Now, the other villages do have the ninjas are registered with numbers. Like, you know, I can't remember Naruto's number off the top of my head, but the ninja of the hidden mist don't have that. So as far as like keeping up with records and, you know, ninja, I believe it can be done by name, but not by a numeric identifier such as the other villages and what they use. All right. Next, we're going to be talking about the village's culture and infrastructure. This was originally going to be 2 sections, but with the village hidden in the mist, we don't really know a lot. So we're kind of going to go and just put all this like in their culture. All right, and as we all know, culture can be the food you eat, the clothes you wear, customs, and things like that. Now, yet again, with the people of the village hidden in the mist, they've experienced a lot of internal strife. So ninja from this village have a tendency to be very tenacious. Like, even Kakashi admitted, like, if it hadn't been for all their internal strife, they would definitely be a rival for the hidden mist village, the hidden leaf village and all the others. Potentially the most powerful, honestly, if we're being, you know, straight up about it. But since we don't know what type of food they eat, I mean, they're an island nation. We can assume they eat a lot of fish because, you know, it's just readily available. But let me see. Let's start with their clothes. Now, as we all know, the every village has their standard flak jacket, which is their uniform. You know, the jacket that they wear, the green jacket that Kakashi wears throughout most of the series. We know about, I think we've seen everybody's standard jacket. Now, for the Mist, their standard attire revolves around a pinstripe material where the shinobi wears as bracers and greaves, which merge into their sandals. Underneath this, they wear a full black full black shirt and pants, over which they wear the village's standard gray flak jacket. Some also wear waist guards. Now, for their flak jacket, it's normally, and I have a picture of it on screen. It's, well, the one we see in the current day, it's normally just slate gray, and it has some shoulder pads, which potentially can be removed. Nothing too crazy. Like, in some cases, doesn't even have any pockets or anything extra on it. Now, it should be noted that in the flashback during the Land of Waves arc, where we see Zabuza, well, back when he was still a member of the Hidden Mist Village, we do see him in a slightly different flak jacket. And as we know from the series, the flak jackets do have a tendency to change, and some people even wear standard, well, non-standard issue. The one that Zabuza wore, it was purple. It had no pockets on it, but it had shoulder pads that were embroidered with the, well, not embroidered, they bore the symbol of the village hidden in the mist. Nothing too crazy, and it had a high collar. But yeah, nothing too crazy when it comes to their standard attire. Now, when it comes to their regular wear or the non-standard ninja attire, that's where we start to see a little bit of their personalities. Pinstripes. They love pinstripes. Don't know why, they just do. Because even through Haku's garb, we see the green pinstripes, and even Chojiro's shirt, pinstripes. They like pinstripes, and even like let me see, and even to a certain degree, it's like that. It's like kind of camo, but not like traditional camo. It's like a light camo that Chojiro wears on his pants, and even Zabuza wore on, I believe they were his leg, like kind of like leg warmers. Yeah, that's what he normally wore. But yes, this village, they have a tendency. Well, they have a tendency towards insurrection. So not only that, but they also, well, so not only are they tenacious, but they have a high number of missing ninjas among the 5 great shinobi nations. So they even have to have a separate division specifically for hunter ninjas to hunt down those who left the village. Let me see. In terms of fighting, shinobi from this village are particularly skilled in the art of silent killing, often doing it in conjunction with the hidden mist jutsu. So yes, the hidden mist jutsu, which is named for their hidden village, it's a jutsu in which the user summons mist to cloud the battlefield, and it gives them an advantage because remember, this is their home turf. Their village is often surrounded by mist, so they've gotten to the point where they can use the silent killing technique, which in zero visibility they can hunt via sound and still kill their enemies. Which is something that Zabuza demonstrated quite well in his first fight with Kakashi, such as when he covered the battlefield in mist and then was able to attack efficiently. Let me see. Now, as far as the architecture goes, as far as the village and the layout of the land, architecture, the hidden village is surrounded, well, not surrounded by water, but there are waterways going throughout the village, and also it's covered in mist most of the time, so it's rare that they don't have any mist. And then they also have regular snow, so even though they're on an island, they do have a regular amount of snow, which they have learned and adapted to living in. Architecture, they're known to have very round buildings. Now, I think the only one we saw inside of in the Mist Village proper in the Naruto series was a filler where we saw the inside of the Mizukage's office during a meeting with Ao, Chojuro, and Mei. But besides that, we've never seen what the inside of the architecture looks like. It's just the buildings around. That's all we know about that. Now, I hesitate to bring this up in regards to culture because I don't know how canon this is. Because as you know, after Naruto ended, there were a series of novels released about Kakashi, Itachi, and a couple of other characters. Now, in one particular novel, Kakashi Hiden, Lightning in the Icy Sky, one of the characters, she mentions that Kiragakure's society was split into a caste system based on where one's lineage originated from. The highest caste being bloodlines that originated from the Mist Village itself. The second caste, slightly lower, which were allies of the bloodlines of the Hidden Mist, and the lowest caste being the ones that were conquered by the Hidden Mist in the past. Now, like I said, I hesitate to bring this up because I'm not entirely sure how canon it is, because the novels were not written by Masashi Kishimoto himself. And to go along with this, it's also was said that due to this, the ones who had to undergo the bloody ritual where they had to kill each other in the academy were often from the lowest task. And the reason that this was done was to keep, and also the ones from the lowest caste were also, the ones from the lowest caste were often given the most perilous and dangerous missions to keep them occupied, keep them from rebelling against their upper castes. But like I said, that information, I don't know how canon to make of it, because yet again, Kishimoto did not write those novels. I don't know how, and I can't tell you exactly how involved he was. But yes, he did. This was mentioned, so take that as you will. Me, I'm kind of like, I don't know about that, because a lot of the novels bring up concepts and stuff. It's like, okay, I'm not entirely sure about that. But yet again, that's just that. But yes, as far as the culture, very roguish. With the high number of missing ninjas, their bloody past, and a lot of the ninjas, especially the older ninja like Ao, would berate the younger ninja who grew up under the 5th Mizukage because he pretty much consistently said that the new kid, the younger generation have it easy, easier than those who grew up in the days of the Blood Mist. So it can be seen that that societally, that the Hidden Mist is trying to change for the betterment of the village due to there being that stark contrast between the younger generation and the older. All right, now we're going to talk about the village's strength. In this section, we're going to talk about some of the some notable techniques, notable ninjas. In terms of technique, like fighters, anything that the village particularly does well, and also about any clans that may belong to the village and any jinchuriki that the village may have. Now, this village, I'm gonna go over their statistics, and I may have misspoke earlier in the video, but the 3 criteria that the villages are judged on are their population, their military strength, and their economy. Now, in terms of population, for the Mist Village, it's 2 out of 5, military, 3 out of 5, economy, 2 out of 5. Now, one thing you should notice is those numbers aren't exactly the highest, and when I went over, well, after everything so far in this video, it's not hard to see why. In terms of population only being a 2 out of 5, what you have to understand is, which you most likely understand if you've been listening to this video, the Mist Village killed off a lot of their own people, like ninja with Kekkei Genkai, hell, people who may have thought differently from them, hell, remember, during the Blood Mist, the academy, the rite of graduation didn't help anything. The high number of missing nin has contributed to them having a relatively low population. Yet again, they've been able to maintain their status as one of the great shinobi nations, but in all honesty, they're kind of hanging on by a thread. Next is military. This feeds into the population. It's a 3 out of 5, which is an average score, but still, this yet again can be attributed to their bloody past, and very much so to the ninja who have Kekkei Genkai. A lot of powerful jutsu and powerful families were culled due to the internal strife that the Mist Village faced. So even if their population wasn't the biggest, they could make up for that lack of quantity of shinobi with quality shinobi, especially from Kekkei Genkai clans. And especially because the Mist Village had some of the, I'd say, the greatest Kekkei Genkais around, definitely. But yet again, due to their bloody history, they've been able to maintain an average military strength. And then the economy, which feeds into the population being low and the military not being the strongest. With the people that were culled, that really hurt them, cutting the population, because as we saw with the Sand Village in part 1, the daimyo could have potentially, well, I'm not gonna say that because we don't know. But anyway, with them having such a low population, there may not be enough ninja to fulfill the needs of their customers. So their clients, some of their clients at least, may have had to, go to other villages to outsource their work. So as we can see here, the Mist Village has definitely shot themselves in the foot repeatedly. And yet again, this is as of part 2 of Naruto, the Shippuden. So we don't know, once Chojuro took over, because that's when Naruto ended. So we don't know if this has gotten better or worse. Well, I'll say better, because Mei was on a good track, and Chojuro also had his head on his shoulders. So yes, that's their base. That's their overall statistics. But let's get into the nitty gritty. Let me see. I was gonna start with the clans, but I don't think I'll do them after the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist. Now, 7 Swordsmen of the Mist are a distinct group of ninja within the Hidden Mist who are swordsmen. Duh, name says it all. But the thing about them is they each wield a special blade. Now, these blades each have a special ability. Now I would go into what each blade's power was, but yet again, for the sake of brevity, and I'm probably gonna end up making a video about the Hidden Mist Swordsmen in general, their own video. I'm gonna leave that out. But yes, they were 7 extremely powerful shinobi who wielded the blades and were extraordinarily skilled. let me see, we were able to see all of them, or at least the last 2 generations. But the biggest, 2 of the biggest examples of their strength would be Zabuza Mamochi and Kisame Hoshigaki. I almost called this man Kisame Samehara anyway. But yes, their strength and the way they used their blades are a testament of how strong the Hidden Mist, the seven ninja swordsmen of the mist were. Now, that isn't all good, because they were in fact plagued by mutiny. At the time of the Four Shinobi War, I believe that, goodness, Chojuro was the only member of the swordsmen with Hirakameki, I want to say. His blade was the only one that was still left in the mist. The others had been lost, and even Samehara had fallen into the possession of the cloud, with and then Suigetsu having the Executioner's blade. But luckily, it seems that this will be one of the few times I'll actually mention Boruto. It seems that they were actually able to reclaim all of the blades, which I'm glad. You know, those were their blades, so they've been able to reclaim those. But yes, as a unit, as we saw during the Four Shinobi World War, where the strong generation was reincarnated, they are very powerful. But as a unit, but even then, seeing their individual strength, you know, that their reputation does precede them. Next, I'm going to talk about the clans, which currently we know there are none, at least clans with Kekkei Genkai. Now, what Boruto, yet again, another one of the few times I'm going to mention it actually did introduce 2 clans, the Hoshigaki clan, which would be Kisame's family, and the Karatachi clan, which would be Yagura, the 4th Mizukage's family. Now, I'm not going to mention them because, yet again, Boruto, at least I don't know how much Kishi, like I said, it's his story, so I don't know how much of that to believe, so I'm leaving them out, because, you know, we never saw anything of that in Naruto, so I don't want to, you know, just go off the handle with that. But anyway, and I'm just going to say, like giving you a little bit of my thoughts, for the Mist Village, it's kind of sad. Like I said, they had some really, really good Kekkei Genkais. The first is going to be the extinct Kaguya clan. Just to go over really briefly with the Kaguya clan, their ability was called the Dead Bone Pulse. With this ability, members of the Kaguya clan who had it were able to manipulate their bones through their osteoblast and osteoclast cells, I believe they are. Which I believe are the cells in the body that are responsible for producing calcium. So they were able to activate those cells using chakra and spur the growth of new bones rapidly, to where they could increase the hardness of their bones. Pretty much, Kimimaro, when he was using it, could fight sword fighters and take kicks that could normally have been seen to shatter stone. And yes, and the use of the dance techniques that they had, they were probably the strongest clan in the Village Hidden in the Mist. I'm just gonna say it. That ability is amazing. And unfortunately, due to the strife that was happening during the Bloody Mist period, their clan was getting further and further from the mist. And the Kage clan in and of themselves were very bloodthirsty. So in order to satiate their bloodlust and just go ahead and strike at the mist for, you know, abandoning them, they decided to attack the Hidden Mist. Even though the Kaguya were yet again a skilled clan, you know, they were a ninja family. They truly were experts in combat and very brutal. They loved it. But by attacking the Village Hidden in the Mist, they eventually sealed their own fate. And all of them, save for Kimimaro Kaguya, that night were killed. And that, well, they thought that was the end of the clan, but yet again, Kimimaro survived. And he eventually, at the age of 15, passed away due to his illness. Which means that currently, I know Kabuto was able to incorporate this ability into his body, But as far as like passing that power down, you know, within the Mist Village itself, unless there's something that happened with that, the Kaguya clan has been extinct and that ability no longer exists. Then we have the Yuki clan, which is the clan that Haku hailed from. Their clan used Ice Style, which is a combination of wind and water chakra, creating ice and using ice to attack, defend, and even to supplement their abilities, such as the demon ice mirrors, you know, to increase their speed. But this clan, it's not known to be extinct, but it has been defunct and is just in no way, like, because pretty much when I say defunct, I mean they don't operate like the Hyuga or the Akamichi, the Nara, like how in Leaf Village, how, like, you know, there's an organization, they have like a hideout, they have clan meetings. Not those type of clan meetings with a C, not a K. They're not organized. Yet again, due to the persecution they faced, the only Yukis we've seen have been Haku's mother and Haku himself, but Haku's mother died and Haku himself died in combat. It can be assumed that potentially the rest of them survived, but their children and grandchildren, and however long this has been going on, however long they've been hiding, have been, you know, just living their lives, trying not to be discovered. And then the only, I say the other two clans that we know of, the Lava clan and the Boil clan, and I'll use it as a kind of a segue for Terumi Mei herself. These clans have Kekkei Genkai that she inherited. So these distinct groups do exist. Now, what happened to them or anything like that, we don't know. We never got a backstory for Mei. So we don't know if these clans are in hiding or if they've come out. It can be assumed that maybe they came out of hiding because for each clan, you know, coming together to make her, you know, she's the Mizukage, you know, her family wouldn't have to hide or anything, but we don't know how progressive the Mist Village may be. They may say, hey, you know, we love you, but we're not coming out of hiding. We don't trust people. You know, we don't know how long it's going to last. But at least for those clans, the Lava Style, which is a combination of fire and earth chakra, and then we have Boil Style or Vapor Style, which was a combination of fire and water. So yet again, we don't know where those families are, what they're doing at this point. But, you know, based on what we know about the Hidden Mist Village, how they feel, at least how they felt in the past, they're probably laying low. Next, and yet again, we're gonna go talk about the fifth Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Very powerful ninja, skilled. Yet again, she has 3 affinities: fire, water, and earth. She's done a lot for the village. So the uptick in, you know, the economy, the population, you know, just the overall Hidden Mist as an organization is very well, you know, because of her, taking her position and wanting to leave the Bloody Mist Village, you know, moniker behind. Definitely helps. And then, as we know, she passed on to Chodoro, who at one point was the last, you know, loyal member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. And it's known that he was very skilled with his sword, as we can see during the 5 Kage Summit, and, you know, during his performance in the war. Next, we're going to talk about Ao. Ao was an ex-hunter ninja, and Anbu Blackout of the Village in the Mist, who was very special. The reason we're talking about Ao, because he's a censor, you know, he's a pretty cool ninja, but yet again, why are we talking about him? Because at some point in the past, he was able to obtain the Byakugan by stealing one from a Hyuga, and he planted it in his right eye. Not a lot to say about him, but he was the one who discovered that the 4th Mizukage was being manipulated by Tobi. Obito, you know. He was the one who noticed that. So using that, was able to, you know, get Yagura out of power and then, you know, get Mei into power. I don't think that's why he did it, but that's why we're benching him. You know, he was very integral in the war, in the 4th Ninja War. But next we are going to talk about some Jinchuriki. Some Bijou, tailed beasts. Now, the Mist Village, being one of the great ninja nations, was able to get one, and they are one of the 3 villages to have 2. So pretty much at the start of the hidden villages, they paid for 2 beasts. The first one is going to be the 3 Tails Isobu. Now, as far as its war strength, yet again, this beast was imbued, at least the only host that we know of was imbued within Yagura, who eventually, became a perfect Jinchuriki, was able to communicate with Isobu and become the 4th Mizukage. As far as it is a bijou, so it has a monstrous amount of chakra. So the holder would definitely be able to benefit from that. And also, in regards to special traits, it really had none, other than, from what we saw, some sporadic sea-based ninjutsu. Like, I believe he used, while partially transformed, Yagura punched Naruto and coral began to appear on him. So, like I said, sea-based ninjutsu. Let me see. And then the other one would be the 6 Tails, Saiken, which took the form of a slug, a 6-tailed slug. Yet again, not a lot known about Saiken, at least in the canon. I know we saw his Jinchuriki Utakata in the anime and he used bubbles, but as far as that within the canon of the story, yet again, fillers aren't written by Kishimoto, so I'm hesitant to bring that up. But Saiken does possess the ability to expel a sticky substance that can also burn. So those are his traits. But yeah, that's gonna conclude the informational part of the video. But yes, that's gonna conclude the informational part of the video. Now, my thoughts on the Hidden Mist Village. The reason, well, I really like it. It's not my favorite village, but it is definitely, I'd say, the most interesting village out of all the hidden villages. They had some dope Keiki Genkais. They had some dope ninja. Really wished we got to see more of them. Really wish the dead bone pulse hadn't died out. But yeah, it's a really cool village, and anybody who says that the Mist Village is their favorite, I completely understand why. It's just cool, and I wish we would have seen more of it. But yeah, that their past definitely, I mean, this isn't going to be a ranking series, but their past definitely screwed them over, and they could have been so much more, especially if they'd have eventually worked things out prior to the Kaguya clan massacre, got them on board, then got the Yuki clan back on board. Like, they would have been nasty. But that's gonna conclude the video. What do you think? What's your favorite hidden village? Do you have a favorite hidden mist ninja? Is there a technique or anything about them? What do you like? What don't you like? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm gonna try to get another one of these out in the next week or so. And I think I'm gonna do the Hidden Rock next. Their clan's definitely cool. Well, not their clan, their village is definitely cool. Yet again, not my favorite. I'll let you know when we're doing my favorite village, but yet again, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the series. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that? Yet again, this has been your boy, The D, signing out. See ya.